Hello, everyone, and welcome to American Scouser's Morning Coffee or Tea with American Scouser. It is Friday, TGIFF, as we say here, and it is Reckless Friday. You know what's reckless is leaving me solo for the time being right here. John is not going to be with us. Anan is on the way. I guess we're hoping at least, or maybe he heard that he knows the Thiago news and he's trying to avoid us as much as possible. But a lot to get to. So along with your comments and everything like that, we'll move right along through the news over here. There he is, right on time. We were just talking about you. What's going on?
Can you hear me? Okay, good.
Yes.
I just finished one work call and I got another one in an hour. What a day. How you doing? It's Reckless Friday. Tiago's hurt again, so let's not talk about that.
Yes, actually, let's talk about that. Let's start right with that. I was not even going to say anything. I was just going to put this headline over here and have you take it away. Yes, everybody's like, Tiago, everybody's in shock. I mean, I think I'm speaking for on behalf of all of us that we're in shock that Thiago is injured. 12 minutes of action, and he's hurt again. So
Isn't it?
what's up with your? You have a lot more. You know a lot more. You guys text back and forth. So what is up with your boy now?
Isn't it crazy that we made that joke before the game? That's
You,
that's the weirdest, most not funny thing ever. I can't talk about it anymore. I just can't. This is taking a toll on me. And when I woke up yesterday and I read the article, I'm like, oh, you got to be shitting me. There's got to be like some sort of a joke. But unfortunately, it's not. We don't know the extent of the injury yet. I hope it's nothing serious. But at this point, serious or not, what difference does it make?
yeah, I mean that's the problem, right? It's just kind of like it's gotten old at this point. It's Keita like Ox like,
Yeah.
probably worse. I think we got more from those guys than we have gotten from Thiago. Not to mention, especially in the case of Keita, his wages were not as bad. I know we
Yeah. So I
paid
was
more
reading
to sign
yesterday.
him.
And basically Thiago made 9 million while injured since April of last year till this
Yeah,
week.
that's just
And
freaking crazy. And shit happens. I understand that, but I mean, what? I mean, So any talk we had, I think we just had this conversation last week. I can't remember if it was like Wednesday or no, but we said, hey, maybe if he has a good run starting now till the end of the season, 3 months, would we consider, especially like if Alonso is here or somebody like that, got the Spanish connection, blah blah blah, and maybe play almost like an Adrian like Milner like role. But I think that goes out the door now, right? Because even if you were like, oh, maybe, and then you know what, it's a safe bet. Football flashback is that Thiago is going to get injured, so there's like money guarantee, but I don't know if the odds are any good on that one to justify it. But I mean, I know, like I was saying, I think that kind of totally eliminates that thought, right?
yeah, unfortunately, I think that's gone out the window because I was like, hey, he comes back, he has a good few months. If Xabi Alonso is to come in, or maybe Pep Linders, they know him, they'll use him as that voice in the locker room. He's older, he's experienced. But now the only experience he has is in the physio room, and that really breaks my heart. But I think that ship has sailed. Um, I think when his contract runs at the end of the season, he probably can't run. He'll walk out, and he'll just
Push him out,
yeah,
roll him out.
he'll just move on and maybe take, a move to a Spanish side, or maybe go to Saudi, or maybe go back to that Barcelona and just give them a little bit of experience because they're too young right now. Who knows where he goes next, but I think it's done for him at Liverpool. Hey, unless his injury is just like a 1 week thing out, he's a little sore from coming back for 12 minutes and he comes back for the rest of the season. Maybe we'll look into it, but it's starting to sound like the injury may not be as light as expected. So
Yeah, like today's press conference makes it sound like it's not brutal, but it's not good either. And I almost get the feeling that, I mean, he didn't come out and say this, but it's not. If it was any other player, it's not bad. They'll be back in a week to two
yeah,
weeks.
yeah,
But because it's Thiago, God freaking knows is what I got out of that press conference.
yeah. And that's exactly where it is. We don't know what happens. It could be a hamstring, could be a hip, it could be anything at this point. So let's just say we move on from this, and
Never look back.
I say it's done. It's a wrap. So I don't even want to talk about it. It's very painful for me. I'm hurting more than him, and he's the one that's injured. So
Yeah, I mean that's another thing. I don't know. In his case, it's Klopp has never said that. He did say this about Sturridge back in the day that kind of like a pain tolerance, kind of an ordeal too. Like some players can, I hate to say, just suck it up. It's a bit more than that, but still, be able to play with pain and take
Yeah,
the shots or ice it off or whatever the hell you got to do. But Ryan says he'll ride off into the sunset as an interpreter. I mean, God knows.
I heard.
Alice says the club should make a statue to honor Thiago a physio bed. I like that actually, like him laying that on the physio bed, getting taped or something like that.
I like that. Respect.
Um, question is football actually is Mecca and Curtis both start tomorrow? Who do you think? Yes, I was actually going to talk about this because
And
uh, definitely not Gravenberg, right? He talked today about one asked, he said something like, this is the quote, actually, that's something like, this is a quote. McAllister and Ando can play together. We just have to bring them together at the right moment, and we will see. I am taking that as he's not starting them together.
starting to sound like either Gakpo or Harvey Elliott, huh?
Yes, because I'm assuming it would not be Gravenberg
It
after.
better not be.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why you would. If I'm Harvey and I see Gravenberg in the starting 11, I'd be like, oh fuck this, and I'm just like leaving because
Yeah,
it's kind of bullshit.
it is Burnley too, so you can experiment. So I wouldn't be too surprised if Gravenberg starts, but I wouldn't want it to happen. I'd rather have Elliot, Jones, Mecca, or honestly, it's not going to happen. But Endo, Mecca, Jones, but obviously that's not going to happen based on the right time comment. So we'll
Yeah,
wait
the
on
right
that.
time comment kind of throws it off, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's a good point. It's the Burnley game, so I don't know if this lineup of Ando, Jones, Mac, that's a really solid lineup,
Yes.
especially defensively.
Yes.
Right? Like ball control, defensive, a lot of running in that midfield. But I don't know, going forwards, I think this is a good game to have Mac at the 6 and then have, like Harvey out there to bring some more attacking. Or like you're saying, I don't know. The only problem with throwing Gakpo out there is you have no attackers coming off the bench now because you used all your cards from the 11.
You've got them all on. Yeah. Um, yeah. Yeah. But again, I say it's Burnley, and Burnley have probably been the worst Premier League side I've seen since Derby County about 10 years ago. So,
No, they've been worse, haven't there?
well, Derby was the worst team ever.
Horrific, like 3-4 seasons ago.
Who?
Sheffield, wasn't it Sheffield United that was just horrific?
Well, yeah, Sheffield had a shit season, but nobody will ever top Derby's never win a single game.
Oh, the Derby, yes.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I meant like, in a long time. I was like,
yeah,
come on,
in the long term, yeah, I agree. It's like me saying Robbie, he's the best striker since Robbie Fowler. Anyways, so yeah, that would be a good looking midfield. You give McAllister that role that he came in for, right? You'd give him that creativity space. You'd give him that box to box option. But because of the right time comment, I think we might see it happen at the second half. Endo comes in, but I don't think right away. So I worry that McAllister is the one that gets benched and Endo starts, but we'll see.
Yeah, he said something like, as far as Endo goes, I know why you underlined this. I guess it's his birthday. 31 today. Must be nice. Birthday tomorrow, by the way. The big 50 is in the house. So I want my birthday gift from Liverpool.
Same thing. 31, 50, same thing.
I think so. Like, it's the 50 is the new 31. Like,
yeah,
that's what I'm going. With all the problems we have with players, we need everyone. 2 weeks we spoke about a luxury problem. If anyone asks me that again, I'll kick them out of the room, says Club. And I think, yeah, it's every time we think we have some extra depth, like so we should never bring up that conversation like, what are we gonna do with all these guys? Because it takes a week.
Funny if you go on our TikTok or our shorts, but 2 weeks ago we got a whole John speech about the luxury of extra players that we have right now. John is probably not watching because I know he had a work thing to do, but Jesus Christ, man.
Stop the goddamn jinx.
It was literally 2 weeks ago. And now we have no more players. We have to start with 7 tomorrow. I mean, come on. But yeah, that luxury is
I don't know. Like Soboslai is obviously out, definitely out for tomorrow. I mean, based on the chart that we saw a couple of weeks, like last week, I think he's out for some time. Mo, I did not see an updates about him in terms of like when he'll be back in the press conference, unless I missed it. But Alan says if Gravenberg can't get a game against Burnley, then who will he ever play against?
But the same could be said about Elliot.
Southampton was going to be my answer. And Alan says, don't forget academy players. I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question. I know what Alan is saying there, but yeah, exactly to your point. Then Elliot is saying, so when am I supposed to play then?
Yeah, and I think this is an Elliot game just because, again, I've been talking about this. I haven't been happy with how much out of favor he's fallen. And I talked this about maybe 3 times now. I think he should be playing more. I like Elliot. When he gets on, we create more. We run into spaces more. We're more comfortable with the ball. So I'd like to see Elliot over Gravenberg, but I don't know if that's going to happen. And I don't know why.
I think actually it happens, to be honest with you. Football Flashback says, guys, I worry about Gakpo with Diaz and Darwin first options at left wing. It feels like he'll never get to play. Actually, speaking of, I should probably share that. Probably should do a better job of this, to be honest with you. But some people are aware. John, our own, very own John, who's not here today, his latest article that's on the website that just hit there last night, actually, is when it got published, is about Gakpo. And it talks a lot about the fact that we can put Gakpo anywhere, Anan. Does that really hurt him in that way? Because, you know, he gets thrown here, thrown there, and he gets evaluated based on those performances, right? Like a lot of people evaluated like Curtis Jones when he was playing left wing, which was out of position. Obviously, he had no business being there. He was just filling a need. It's almost like evaluating Milner as a left back only or stuff like that. So what do you think of that? Does it hurt him that he can be plugged in anywhere else, whereas, you know, Diaz is going to be on the wing?
I think so because opinion, not fact, but as a player, you're a striker. You're being played left wing, right wing, central attacking midfield. You want to go back to your natural position. So every time you're playing in these other positions, you're trying to prove that you're good enough to go back to your natural position. And then you have a bad game, and now everybody's talking about how, oh, you didn't do well here, you suck, you're garbage, this, but that's because you're being played out of position. I think in our lifetime, it worked for one guy, which was Derek Cout. It worked really well for him, going from a striker to a false 9 to a right winger, and then taking that right wing position and running with it for 5-6 years. Yep. I just don't think that's working with Gakpo. I think being played out of position is hurting him. It's hurting his confidence a little. Compare Gakpo last season to Gakpo this season, it's just not the same guy. I'd like to see him play in his natural position. I'd like to see him get a run of games in it. But again, when he does, we're not really seeing anything. So it's a big mess. But overall, yes, that hurts your confidence. That hurts your continuity. That hurts your attitude. Because you come in and you look at a team sheet, you're like, ah, shit, here you go again. I'm playing in a different position now. Or, oh my God, here we go. I'm on the bench. And when I sub in, I'm going in a whole different position. And I feel like that does take a toll on you.
But does it take a toll for fans? Because like Ryan says, I disagree. The more useful you are, the better chance you have to play if you're capable of said positions. And he is.
Well,
so maybe we evaluate him, but Klopp and the gang looks at it like, hey, he's golden for us because he can go anywhere. But we judge him on what he does as a left wing or a, you know, in the center forward and stuff like that. But that's not how he's judged. They already know. You know, we didn't judge Gomez when he played left back as, you know, there was always like a scale, a handicap, if you will, right?
Yeah.
Whereas maybe we evaluate him with a handicap, but Klopp and the rest of them don't.
Funny enough, though, he's playing less ever since switching all these positions. So I get it. I fully agree. The more you're useful, the more you're used. But he's our joker, per se. He's that card that can play anywhere, but he's playing less. He isn't playing more. He isn't getting more opportunities because he's playing in different positions. So, yeah, in an ideal world, the more useful you are, the more you're going to get opportunities to play. In our world, I haven't seen him getting more opportunities to play. I've seen, you know, Nunez cement that start, Lucio get that start, Jota get that start, and Gakpo is just like, I come in the second. You said it earlier. I wouldn't want Gakpo to start because we want options off the bench in the second half.
Yes. But one thing about Gakpo coming in off the bench enables you to change formation a lot easier.
Yeah, and you
right?
can.
Because if Nunez is coming off the bench, there's only one place he's going to, or maybe two. Whereas if Gakpo is coming in, like if you're chasing a game, maybe you are going almost like 4 attackers now, or you are beefing up the midfield, or you are bringing him for his press or whatever the case might be. So I think that's an advantage that he has. I think that's another advantage that Jota has as well, that you can implement him in different positions and kind of enables you to change tactics as you're bringing a sub and not doing like a like for like substitution. But yeah, definitely give that article a read on the website. And then you can like jot comments and stuff like that below too on like via Facebook and all that kind of good stuff. So it is another thing, by the way, probably should talk about this as well. We did start our Patreon site. So I know you can join for free and get like the regular updates and stuff like that. But if you do scroll down, there's just like different options where you can get access to. It's all listed right there. Obviously, the higher trade, probably like the $9.99 gets you the meat of the bone, I would say, for the most part, probably the biggest bang for the buck. That's why we recommend that one. But there are higher grades as well. If you're interested, we're gonna have some like content that's posted only on Patreon and not on our YouTube and Facebook and stuff like that from like Mecca, Kazi, myself, and all that kind of good stuff. So go ahead and check that out as well. I know we posted a link, but we'll probably be posting the link left and right over here until you're sick of it and you sign up. So we've already had some people sign up for it actually on a free basis. So appreciate that and appreciate the support there. There's the Bickler. You know what? Those are, yeah, I don't think $9.99 a month is gonna get you Bickler babysitting. Not to mention, I don't know if you want Bickler babysitting. That's not a perk. That's a punishment.
Yeah, that's a punishment.
Okay, let's talk about this a little bit. I wanted to we're gonna have the pre-match tomorrow. We'll do our predictions on the way out. But this blue cards concept, we talked about this, I think, about a month ago or whatever. Club does say it doesn't sound like a fantastic idea at the moment. I can't remember the last fantastic idea from these guys, and I'm 56. What do you think of this blue card thing? There's so many things I hate about it, and not just because I'm an old guy yelling at the clouds.
Stupid is probably the word I want to go for. Pathetic, silly. I mean, there's so many words I can use.
Like a thesaurus over there.
Yeah, there's so many words I can use, but my goodness, it is so stupid. I think the game is gone. And if this gets implemented full time, the game is gone. 10-minute suspensions and you come back. This is turning into hockey. And I don't know who came up with that idea, but that person needs to be, shot down because they're being reckless. I am against this idea. I think it's stupid. I think it's taking the game away. Let's fix what we have now before we worry about what the new issues are. Why don't we fix VAR? Because everybody's talking about VAR. Well, worry about the referees that run VAR and then worry about those same freaking idiots giving blue cards. Because what is dissent? How is it going to be judged? That's
what I don't understand. It's so much gray area on this thing, right? I saw it as, Ryan says, please explain. If you ask him about the blue card, good luck. You're not going to get a lot of explanation from us. I saw it as two things will get you a blue card. Extreme dissent, whatever the hell that means, right? And what would be a red card violation right now, like a tackle, stopping a goal and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I'm still better with that being a red card.
Yes. I don't understand that. So that is the definition of taking one for the team. So instead of conceding a goal, you're just going to tell your team, hey, you guys got to suck it up for 10 minutes, but at least we didn't concede a goal. And I'll be back, boys, in 10 minutes.
Yeah. And that's why it's so dumb, because let's just park the bus for 10 minutes until you're back in. And we're not going to lose. I think this is horrible because they said extreme dissent. Is that yelling at the ref? Is that calling the ref a wanker? Is that calling the ref a B? What is it? Or is it just
getting up and going like this?
Yeah. Or is it touching the ref? Because now if you touch a referee, it's red card. What is extreme dissent? Where are we going with this? But I'm more bothered about the stopping a goal scoring opportunity, because now players are going to be like, oh, it's a one-on-one. Okay, see you guys in 9 minutes and 50 seconds. And
it's almost like stopping a ball that's going into the goal with your hand, like stories and stuff, because it's almost like, you know what? I just saved a goal. And at least he got a red card. So he's not going to get a red card for that now. He's going to be going away for 10 minutes. It justified the decision even more.
Yeah, I think it's horrible. I think I'm against it. They're going to try it in lower tier leagues first. And then what's going to happen? Are they going to stop play for the guys to come in? Are they going to go and sit in a box? Are they going to go sit in the bench? What are we doing? The game is gone.
Yeah, the penalty. Basically, yes, it is. Like you get a blue card and you go hit the penalty like hockey. You sit in the sin bin and then you come out. I mean, this has been like going on, I guess, in like grassroots, like lower levels, and I can only assume how much more abuse like referees get there, and it was going against that. I saw the rule, and the moment I saw the dissent thing, I was like, oh, this is a great way to corrupt the game further, because it really lets now the red card part. I totally agree with you. I don't even understand that. That was the whole point of showing a red card, to kind of take that away from the game. You have to make a decision, dude. You either stop the goal and walk out, or you let the goal happen.
They already changed that rule to going from if it's a one-on-one and you hurt someone in the box, we won't give you a red, but it's definitely a penalty.
Yes.
Now we won't give you a red, it's definitely a penalty, and we'll kick you out for 10 minutes. It's God, now it's just opportunity to hurt each other and stop goal scoring opportunities because it's a temporary suspension. But if you
I
get
don't understand like what made him say, yeah, we like why do we need this for that part of it? For the dissent part of it, I really worry, because it lets referees change the entire momentum of the game based on what they consider at that moment dissent. And let's face it, I mean, dissent, like anything in life, right? Heck, even with your kids, right? They like, they might complain about something. It's just like a little bit of whining. They say something of it, and then, they might actually be complaining at the same tone, but you're getting filled up, and you're like, hey, you know what? I don't want to hear about this anymore. This is what we're doing. So it might be the same level of dissent as somebody else, but you're like the last drop in the glass to make it overflow. And I feel like now referees will be able to control the momentum of the game. Let's say we're going big time. We have Burnley under pressure. We're crossing the ball left and right, constantly in the box. They're barely clearing. We're coming in waves and waves and waves. Something happens in the box, outside of the box. Diaz doesn't get a foul. He gets up and does this. Boom. Diaz goes out. Now we're down to 10 minutes. All that momentum is gone. The whole game has been shifted around because the referee had too much. What the hell?
Yeah, and all you're doing is you're trying to control people's natural emotions. Listen, I get it. Stop the game. Let them know that's not right. Relax. But you're going to control their emotions by throwing them out. You're creating more problems. You're creating more anger. You're creating more issues. The fans aren't going to be happy. The players aren't going to. You're creating chaos. This is the definition of chaotic atmosphere if this happens. And I worry about the game, because now they're talking about in a few years they want to take out the offside rule, and they want to play 80 minutes instead of 90, and they already changed the format of the World Cup. I mean,
what is the format of the World Cup now? I missed that one.
It's 104 teams.
Everybody in the world.
yeah. Like the only people that aren't going to qualify are like San Marino. That's it.
Well, I guess Turkey will qualify all the time, so that's the good news.
So 104 teams, they added an extra group instead of a round of 16. Now there's a round of 32, and there's more games. 104 games, 64 teams. I mean, it's just, I don't know, man. They're changing too much in the game, and it's so funny because us foreigners, Europeans, and whoever it is, always making fun of Americans. Haha, they call it soccer. They're so stupid. But they're taking every single American sports rule and putting it in the sport. They talk so much shit about Americans.
It brings the money. They're like, hey, how come Americans are making so much money off of sports?
Yeah, they talk so much shit about Americans and the way they view soccer, but they're taking every single rule. For the love of God, they're going to do the NFL thing. Foul. I said it's a foul because it's number 14 tackled number 18.
I want that, though.
Straight from the NFL, straight from the NBA. I don't mind it, but you cannot criticize American sports and then do what they're doing, because they used to make fun of that a few years ago.
I just don't mind commercial breaks, because I feel like that's coming next.
Can you imagine Salah's about to shoot, Bud Light, and then it comes out and Salah's like, "Do I go?"
That's the only thing I like about I mean, like I say, if your team is not in it, I find it impossible to watch American sports for like a game from beginning to end. I mean, these 49ers playoffs games are probably the only full game. 49ers games are the only full games of NFL I watch. Like we try, I mean, wife and I both like football, and then we'll try like sit and watch a game. But after a while, you're like, this is impossible. Like you guys are making it impossible to watch this game from beginning to end, because I've seen this Geico commercial like 10 times now.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
done.
and then you've got, when I watch NBA, like, the first 3 quarters and a half, they go in an hour, and then the last 4 minutes are 7 hours.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, what's going on? Timeout commercial. Timeout commercial. Allstate Nationwide is on your side. Okay. 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 Like, I go to sleep singing every single damn jingle that I just watched on TV. And I hate that. But in the US, they kind of do that. The progressive extra time.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. Just do that. I'm okay with that. Like, yeah, and then
Not gonna lie,
yeah,
that
like
made me get progressive.
insurance, all that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
and then you get you constipated. Why don't you take this? You might get a heart
Yeah.
attack, but it is what it is. You won't be constipated
And that's
anymore.
the little bit of the annoying part, because it'd be just a counterattack, and he'll be like, now in theaters, John Cena. And I'm like, hold on, he is an army hero. I'm like, hold on.
As the game is now, it seems
Yeah.
impossible, but knowing how the game has changed, I do not put it past these guys to pass rules like that too and be like, well, you know
Yeah.
what we're gonna do? We're gonna do a 1 minute stop. Like, they're gonna say all these injuries are happening. So we're gonna do like a 1 minute stop in the middle of the half. Not that because these guys are playing 800 games a year, but blame it on, like, to get them some extra rest and hydration, blah blah blah.
And a lot of tournaments are already doing hydration breaks.
Yep.
So
why
the
don't we
game's
make
gone.
that a 2 minute hydration break?
Yeah, exactly.
Get some commercials.
And if you drink more water than allowed, it's a blue card. Like, it's just
What is I just so the yellow card would only be for, I mean, is the goal not to get somebody sent off?
well, if you
for
get two
a red?
blues, it's a red.
Two blues are a red, right? So
Yeah,
you
so it's
sent
the same
twice,
damn thing.
but now you can have a hard foul and a dissent and still be on there. So what is the, like, is this what we're promoting?
Yeah,
You
so
can have dissents.
last Sunday, I got a blue card. I hurt the shit out of someone. I knew I was only going to get kicked out for 3 minutes. And I came back 3 minutes later, like, haha, I'm back. It's just the stupidest
I know.
attitude thing. Yeah.
Indoor, I mean, yeah, you're like, whatever. I mean, like, what happens? You buckle up. It's almost like a hockey, right? Like, shorthanded. You just
Pretty
keep
much.
the ball away constantly.
Pretty much.
It's 2 minutes. So when I come back, yeah, we're gonna be good. At least I got it out of my system. It
Yeah.
almost feels like, you know what? That's well worth it for 2 minutes.
Exactly. I broke somebody's collarbone. It's not that bad. So yeah, I'm against it. I think there's a lot of changes that we're gonna see in the next 5 years in our lifetime that we're gonna hate. And it makes me just start to step away from how much I watch, because now it's going to be stopped every 5 minutes and a blue card and a 10-minute suspension. And for that 10 minutes, now the other team has a power play, and they're going to,
And I almost think, that's what we're headed. That's what I worry about. Ryan says the only American thing I would consider in soccer is stopping the clock for stuff. I don't know. I'm kind of torn on that. I don't know. It's just the natural flow of the game. And I know some of this stuff that I'm hesitant to do is kind of like the old guy yelling at clouds kind of thing and not wanting too much change on the game that we love. But I mean, there has to be a certain benefit to it. I guess, would they make the game 60 minutes and then stop the clock? And I mean, these guys cannot manage basic things. You see in NBA, despite having so many opportunities to correct things, that they're like, hold on, stop the game. We have to reset the clock. Happens in NFL, right?
Yeah.
I have to reset the clock and stuff like that. So the game is going to stop for that. And then it also scares me that when we give him the opportunity to stop things, you give him the opportunity to then insert commercials and stuff like that. It's not going to be long before, when shit goes to VAR right now, we see the commentator and the pundit talk about it and we watch it in slow motion. Pretty soon, that's going to be split screen. You're going to get a commercial. And then the next step after that, you're not even going to get split screen. You're going to get a commercial. While they tell you, look at that, a quick message from our sponsors.
Yeah, and then it'll just roll back to the referee. It's offside, and the game is back on. But that brings up the next question, and this is a silly one, but we're on the topic of, the way American sports does stuff. Would you allow coach challenges?
Coach challenges? On what, though? Like
in the NBA, you.
No, I understand, but I mean, in what situation? Because like in that, you can only do certain things in NFL, for example. Same
Yeah,
thing in
so
NBA.
let's just say it's a
Foul
handball,
outside the box or something
a
like that.
handball, and the referee doesn't see it, doesn't go to VAR, but the coach saw it and he wants to challenge. Would you allow it?
Yeah, I don't mind it. What's the difference? We only have VAR.
Yeah. So a lot of the times, like, for it happened last week, VAR missed something and everybody was like, why won't they look at it? Then VAR never looked at it. If you had a coach's challenge, you just hit the buzzer or throw the flag or whatever it is and be like, I want this challenged. They go back and they look at it. VAR is like, oh, yeah, you're right. It's a penalty.
It goes back to what Ryan is saying. If VAR was working correctly, you would have seen it anyway. So when you do
Well,
the
the
VAR,
only reason why I would
but I
want
wouldn't
that
mind it. I would
is
not
to
mind it.
correct VAR because we know that VAR is not working correctly. And it's not because of the system, it's because of the people operating it. But if you put pressure on them, like checks and balances, you missed that, boom, here's a challenge. It'll make them reconsider those decisions. It's just an opinion.
But here's the thing. Okay, like you're in the management business as well. So part of the I feel like part of what management does to you as a lifestyle, as like a way of looking at things, you think of the worst case scenarios or what can happen out of a decision, right? Like you do that, you're like, you know what? Somebody will do this. Somebody will trip over
Right.
that, blah, blah. You
Right.
think of the worst case scenarios. So when something like this happens, I can see, let's go back to the scenario. We're like peppering Burnley, full pressure. You get the feeling that the goal can come any minute. The dude challenges some bullshit call that's like in midfield that has nothing to do with the game. You know what I mean? Like the people, because in like NFL, I don't know if in the NBA is the same way, but there's something to lose for just throwing a stupid challenge out there. Like you lose a timeout, which can be really
In the
valuable.
NBA, you lose a timeout.
NBA, you lose a timeout as well. Okay, I know you use it in NFL, so well, there would be nothing to lose in soccer. So don't get me started. Next thing you're gonna ask is like, would you be okay with timeouts? Like Klopp is like, time. Nunez, what are you freaking doing over there? But that's what I'd be afraid of. Like managers will lose. The company will be like, oh, I'm challenging that over that. That was a foul. To get a breather, let's collect ourselves, resettle and stuff.
What if for every failed challenge, you get a blue card? Just fucking mix it all up together, It's turning into shit anyway, so might as well just shit on the whole thing.
Yeah, instead of trying to implement new stuff and spending time and money now training every ref in the world on when you're gonna show the blue, when you're gonna show the yellow, why don't we just install this VAR thing everywhere so we don't have games where there's no VAR, and let's do the semi-automatic. I don't understand how the Turkish league now has had it now for a month or so, the semi-automatic offside thing.
Was that the one they used in Qatar for the World Cup?
Yes.
I think it's the most brilliant thing ever, and every league is adapting it.
All the Turkish league have it, but not the Premier League.
And the Premier League is like,
more money.
Well, we won't be able to screw people over. No, don't do it. And it's shitty. They don't want technology to do it so they can keep their jobs, but also they're more in control of scenarios with the whole arm and the arrow and like, oh, look at that, his arm is offside, and then it's like, dude, that's just a freaking hair and it's not offside. Like, oh, nope. So yeah, they want to be more in control. And especially with the Premier League, you bring in the automatic system, they are no longer in control. The system is.
Yes.
Because
that's the thing, right? Because it's where you draw the line now, or you drag it with the mouse. So like I said, I just don't understand how the Turkish league can afford it, but not the Premier League. But to be fair, they brought VAR. It was the last league to bring in VAR as well.
Yeah,
and then use it the worst way.
Yeah, like, and we're like, just get rid of it. Just get rid of it. Yeah.
Yeah, we took that as, they're making everybody else work through the kinks. So when they implement it as tip top, and they implement it in the worst freaking way possible compared to all the other leagues that already had it.
I remember the first time I saw VAR was in Bundesliga, and an incident happened, and everybody on Twitter was like, "Oh my god, video review!" And I'm like, "Oh my god, this is the coolest thing ever." And then it comes to the Premier League, I'm like, "This is bad. This is really bad." Especially the first season with the Firmino goal with the arrow on his arm.
My god, yeah.
What is going on?
Yeah, that's a good one, because we would have to replace the red flag with something. The manager punching the fourth referee. That's another thing. Like, why do we even have the fourth referee thing? Isn't the fourth referee just a guy that people can complain to at the end of the day?
And hold the sign. And also, like we saw 2 years ago when I think it was Anthony Taylor got injured, he subbed with the with the fourth
But
official.
that guy has always been there. Now, like the backup guy has always been there. Now
Yeah.
they're like, hey, you're here anyway. Might as well work.
But
Get your
what a
money's worth.
cool job. They just stand there and watch the games and just.
Oh, I would hate it. You have one manager yelling this way, the other manager yelling. I would freaking hate it, dude. I think it's the worst gig. I'd rather be in the middle than on the
I
sideline.
don't know.
Coaches.
I would love to just stand there in the middle and have Unai Emery. Good evening. Why is that not a foul? I would just think, dude, yes, say that again. I think it'd be cool. And then Klopp would be like, ha!
They have to almost like explain things too. Like if I had the fourth guy, I'd be like, I don't know, man. He's out there.
I think it's the worst. Yeah, it is the worst job because the guy makes a call and they come up to him like, "What is this?" Like, dude, I don't know. I'm next to you. Like, what the fuck? Like, what do you want me to do? I'm here. Yeah, I think
that's why it's a horrible job. Like, I don't know. I'm right here with you. Like,
especially when it's Pep and Klopp, they're both like looking at him, and he's like, "Me? I'm not getting paid for this, bro. I'm just here."
Yeah, it's just like I'm just here to hold a sign, man. Like, and make sure you're in your box. That's all I do.
Shitty job.
Okay, so let's touch up on the game real quick tomorrow. Give me your starting 11. Gomez is a doubt as well. Gomez might have an illness. He has not been on the practice.
Yeah, Trent, Robo, Big Verge, and oh boy, Kwanzaa.
Kwanzaa has to be
Kwanzaa,
right.
Yeah. Konate suspended. In the middle, it's gonna be Maka, Jones, and Harvey is what I'm hoping for. I have a feeling it's gonna be Gravenberch. Don't ask why. And then we'll do Diaz, Jota, Nunez, in that order.
Yeah, I like it.
And we'll see them switching in the game. Should be a relatively easier game, but I've been saying that. Yeah, I've been saying that. It worked every single time except for last week. But should be an easier game. Burnley are crap. Company is crap. Should get a couple of goals. Hopefully, we get Endo and an appearance from Endo in the second half. I do want to see him and McAllister playing together. That is really something that I'm looking forward to now that I know Szoboszlai is going to be out for 3 to 5 weeks. And just go get it. I'm not sure if Connor Bradley's going to be back because of his father's passing. If he is back, I would start him before Trent.
Yes, I would as well, but didn't sound like it. I know he mentioned, I closed that window, but he mentioned something like, everybody deals with it differently. He said something like, all we can do right now is have empathy kind of thing. Everybody kind of deals with it differently. I mean, when my dad passed away, and I was about the same age, I was like 19, I think. I was a sophomore in college, so probably that's pretty pathetic that I was a sophomore in college and the dude is starting for Liverpool. That's a different story. But I was studying economics. He's studying for Liverpool. But I mean, I don't know. After the first a day or two, I just wanted to get back to life, get back to normalcy, get back out there, not think about it, kind of a thing. But everybody deals with it differently.
Everybody's different. Yeah,
right or wrong or anything like that.
He's young, so he can take his time. But if he's available and he's in that squad, to me, he's way above Trent in the right back in a game like this, at least. And kind of go there. But it sounds like Trent's going to start at the right back, Robo on the left, and hopefully that midfield doesn't disappoint. And then we get to see Endo in the second half.
Yeah, and then I think that's basically what he means. I think once you control the game, you bring him in, you push Mecca up top and stuff like that. But yeah, I just hope we get an early goal. I think that's going to be this is the kind of game that, yes, it does look easier on paper because Burnley is not all that, obviously. But the more every minute that passes where you don't get the goal, you're kind of encouraging them. You're getting the fans frustrated, and you're getting the team frustrated. So it's gonna be more and more difficult. But an early goal can really open the barn doors, I think, and Burnley can kind of pay the price for Lego heads instead. I can see.
I'll talk to Darwin and make it happen.
Yeah, why don't you do that? Text Thiago too and see which muscle hurts this time. It's not the same injury, so it is not the hip.
Yeah, it's not that.
It's the hands
because of the
muscles. Yeah. Maybe he's just sore. I did some stuff outside yesterday. I'm a little sore myself, so that's how I envision. He's like, you know what? It's hurting, man.
Except he's getting 9 million. We're not getting shit. But
that's
cool. No big deal. Same.
Okay, let's get a score prediction before we head out to this morning.
I'll do 3-0.
Damn right, man. I was going with the same one. Let's go with 3-0. Sounds good. I wasn't even going with the too much in special. I feel like we will, especially if we get an early goal, we will dominate, control this game, and just kind of see it out, almost get some rotation going save some legs. And we don't have a game for another week, like Ryan was saying. So rotation is that not important, I guess. But
Yeah.
to get some minutes for a guy like Endo, get some minutes for Gakpo and stuff like that. Honestly, I mean, we all joke, but get some minutes for Gravenberg, like maybe bring him in the second half for like 20, 30 minutes and stuff like that. So that's what I want to see. Like take Jones out, maybe let them rest for a little bit. Bring Thiago in. Oh, never mind. We can't do that.
Can't do that one.
Can't
You
do
saw
that
what 12 minutes did to him.
Alan's going with 3-0 as well. It's
Nice.
the consensus.
We're definitely losing, aren't we?
I know, yeah, it doesn't look good when everybody says the same thing. But we will be back tomorrow morning, same time, right after usually like the lineups come out. We'll be here for the pre-match, so do join us then. Like I showed earlier, do check out the Patreon page in terms of like all the additional programming and stuff we're gonna do there. If there is something you do want to see, such as Bickler babysitting or something slightly more realistic, do let us know, and we might try and make it happen for you. So always feedback is appreciated. Your guys' support is appreciated. Have a great Friday. Don't get hurt. Watch those muscles. Don't be reckless. Thanks to our sponsor, Reckless Coffee Roasters, as well. Have a great Friday, everybody. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Take care.
Take care.